It has been the perfect start to HBL PSL 10 for Islamabad United. They topped the table with 5 wins from 5 and have been quite superb with both bat
There it is, a century of the highest order.
and ball.
Oh, bowling, what a yorker, what a result.
Tonight they face the Lahore Qalandars for the first time this season. The Qalandars find themselves in a strong position in the table too, and last time out it was their overseas stars who shone brightest to make light work of a tricky run chase against Multan.
The Lahore Qalandars turn their 100th match into a night of glory.
So can Islamabad United maintain their 100% record, or can Lahore close the gap here on their home ground? Hello and welcome from Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. We're here for match number 19 and it's the home side, Lahore Qalandars. They are taking on Shadab Khan's men, Islamabad United. Hello and welcome back on pitch side. Now Islamabad United will be in action after a week, so they've had a bit of a breather. Lahore Qalandars also playing after 4 days, and Islamabad United seems to be the team to beat in this competition so far because they've been undefeated. They are the defending champions. Lahore so far have won 3 and lost 3, so plenty at stake and plenty to play for. With me on pitch side, I've got Bakar Yunus and Mike Hazeman. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining once again. Seeing Islamabad United in action after a while, it seems like it's been a while. They've been definitely the strongest team in this tournament so far, Bakar, but you know, a different sort of challenge here in Lahore for them.
Yeah, they've been excellent at home, playing at home. They've been outstanding. Playing in Lahore for the first time, the pitches are a little bit different. But yeah, the track record and the kind of team they have, the all-rounders in the squad, they're very balanced side. They don't mind making changes. And when you won 5 games, you can afford to make changes. And they look a unit which is... as you said, team to beat. So it's not going to be easy for Lahore Qalandars, because Islamabad United is on the high.
And in terms of just the composition of the side of Islamabad United, they're very all-rounders heavy. They've got a few all-rounders. It just seems like a very balanced overall squad.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they've got options galore. I mean, they have got sometimes going with 7 options, bowling options, sometimes 6. But I think the one thing about this game right now is it's going to be played on a surface which I think both these teams are really going to enjoy. And I think that the quicker bowlers, the guys with extra bounce, are going to have a lot of fun on this track because it's going to play nicely, I think, and it's going to be a good track. And I'm sure that the standard of the game is going to be lifted because of the surface and also the players involved. So a couple of key elements for today.
Well, Islamabad United are right at the top of the table so far. Remember, they've won all the 5 games that they have played. Qalandars do have a chance to get to that number 2 spot. If they win by a certain margin today, they can be on that number 2 spot. Let's not forget that the top 4 teams will be the ones that will qualify for the playoffs. All right, so far we're very close to the toss. Whatever we've seen so far, Bakar, win the toss, and what should you do as a captain?
I think whatever you do, I don't think this pitch is going to change much. You bat first, you make sure you put enough runs on the board. We have seen 186 was not enough here also, and then on the other side, when you look at it, 140 was enough, 143 was enough. So this is not a pitch where you look at the toss. Is how you sort of plan your innings. That's going to be the key.
How you plan your innings is going to be absolutely crucial because we've seen, as they say, there's been a bit of spice for the fast bowlers, but we are now ready with the toss. So it's over to Arooj Mumtaz, who's out there with the 2 captains.
Two teams that have been resting for a few days now, so let's get right into it. It is the exchange on coin toss. I've got Shaheen Shah Afridi for the Lahore Qalandars, the home team. Islamabad United being led by Shadab Khan, match ref Mohammad Javed Malik, and exchange on a mascot Kambar Abbas. Shaheen, you got the coin?
Heads.
That is the call.
What?
And it is head.
A bit of a runner, but it is a heads. Shadab, क्या करेंगे और क्यों?
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. बॉलिंग करना चाहिए. देखिए जिस तरह का पिच खेल रहा है अभी लग भी रहा है क्रैक्स हैं ओपन है और कोशिश करेंगे कि वो अपना पावर प्ले अच्छे तरीके से यूटिलाइज़ करें।
कल का मैच आपने देखा ज़रूर होगा क्योंकि एक वैका सॉइल की बात ज़रूर थी, बट पेस एंड बाउंस उससे आपने क्या सीखा होगा? कुछ आपके अप्रोच में, टेम्पलेट में चेंज आएगा कि अपनी स्किल्स को फिर भी बैक किया जाए?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो असेस करेंगे क्योंकि कल जिस तरह का पिच खेला शायद उस तरह का पिच ना खेले, लेकिन जितने भी अभी तक लाहौर में मैचेस हुए हैं, टेस्ट लेंथ बॉलिंग अगर की जाए तो ज़्यादा हेल्प मिल रही है, और बैटिंग में कोशिश करेंगे कि अच्छी पोजीशन रहे और अच्छी पोजीशन के साथ एग्रेसिव क्रिकेट खेली जाए।
लाहौर की इस गर्मी में एक हफ्ते से आपने मैच नहीं खेला है, तो घूमने फिरने के साथ साथ प्रैक्टिस का कितना सिलसिला रहा, और ब्रेक कभी कभार मोमेंटम को तोड़ता है कि मूड किस तरह सा है कैंप में?
देखिए, मूड तो ऑब्वियसली अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह बहुत अच्छा है, प्रैक्टिस भी होती रही है, लेकिन सबसे ज़्यादा हमारे फुट वॉली के मैचेस थे, उसका ड्राफ्ट वगैरह भी अच्छे से हो गया, और वो बहुत इंटेंस मैचेस हुए हैं, तो गर्मी के साथ यूज्ड टू हो गए।
चलें, दैट्स वेरी गुड। ये बता दें जो आज ज़रूरी मैच इसके 11 याद है?
नहीं, हम हफ्ता पहले खेले थे, अभी 4-5 चेंजेस हैं लेकिन मुझे याद नहीं।
चलें, कोई नहीं, हम पता कर लेंगे। थैंक यू, गो वेल। शाहीन, उम्मीद है आपको याद होगी। पहले ये बताएं, इस सर्फेस पे आप भी पहले बॉलिंग करते?
हम भी टॉस जीत के बॉलिंग ही कर रहे थे। कल पिच में काफ़ी बाउंस था, आई फील इसमें क्रैक्स भी खुले हैं, तो थोड़ा सा हेल्प मिलेगा।
वही सवाल, आपने भी कल का मैच देखा होगा, पिछला मैच मुल्तान के खिलाफ आप लोग जब यहाँ खेले बहुत ही अच्छा जीते। पिच को देखते हुए और टॉप ऑर्डर को देखते हुए कुछ तब्दीली लाए हैं, और उस अप्रोच को किस तरह बेहतर करना चाहेंगे?
हमारी सेम टीम है, मेरे ख्याल से जो कल मैच हुआ वो ज़्यादा, अगर आप देखें मैच को तो ज़्यादा शॉट मार के आउट है, बट क्रिकेट शॉट खेलनी पड़ेगी। ज़ाहिर सी बात T20 गेम है, लेकिन नीचे भी रन होते हैं।
नीचे भी रन होते तो हैं। आखिर में बता दें, आप भी 4 दिन के बाद खेले हैं, तो उसमें आपकी टीम में कुछ मोमेंटम, आप भी फुटबॉल के मैचेस खेलते रहे?
नहीं, हम 2 दिन बाद खेल रहे हैं, 1 दिन 2 दिन बाद।
मेरी मैच गड़बड़ है थोड़ी सी। गो वेल देन शाहीन।
थैंक यू।
Right then, the news from the center is that Islamabad United have won the toss, will have a ball.
Well, thank you, Rooj. Islamabad United winning the toss and they've decided to bowl first. Qalandars are going completely unchanged, Waqar.
Yeah, a little surprise for me because Naeem, who's been struggling up the order, was a youngster, didn't look that good, and this pitch is not going to help that cause. Otherwise, Shafiq is there. Mitchell there, who's been in good form. Billing is really batting well. Raza is really good. A pretty balanced side with the bowling when you look at it. Karan, Rauf's got to really pull his socks because he hasn't really bowled that well so far. Asif Afridi has been superb throughout this tournament yet.
Islamabad United, on the other hand, Hazy, they love to experiment and make some changes, and they've made 5 changes to this lineup.
Well, I've got to take a bit of a deep breath here. I mean, Colin Munro, these can only be just some swap outs just to rest and change a few things around because they're going so well at the moment. Munro is out, Nawa's out, Salman Irshad is out, Riley Meredith is out, and Masood is out. Aga's in, Azam Khan's in, Dwarsh is in, Naseem Shah and Hunain Shah. So there's some big changes there, but they've obviously got a very solid opening pair with those two there at the very top. And Andres Host played very nice with his 80 in the last game, so he's going to be key. And good to see Jason Holder, of course. He's a key player for Islamabad.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been perhaps one of the pick of the bowlers when it comes to this HBL PSL 10. He's bowled superbly. Now, these two teams have, of course, met before in the HBL PSL over these years. Let's see what the results are saying. It's time for head-to-head. All right, so 20 times these two teams have met, where Islamabad United have won 11 as opposed to Lahore's 9 games. Whereas since the 2022, Islamabad has won 2 and Lahore has won 6, which tells you a bit of a story how Lahore Qalandars has improved as a side overall. When they started, it wasn't great, but then they won some titles and they managed to beat Islamabad as well. All right, then there you go. Islamabad United winning the toss and they have decided to bowl first. We'll be taking a short break and we'll be back with a lot more. Back on pitch side, Islamabad United have won the toss and they have elected to field first. Now we've seen there's been some help for the fast bowlers in these Lahore conditions, and the fast bowlers have rather enjoyed bowling here if they bowl in the right areas. How's it going to fare today? Let's find out from Arooj Mumtaz and Martin Guptill with the pitch report.
Well, we thought it was going to be spicy yesterday, and it surely was spicy. 89 all out Multan Sultans. Guess what? We're playing on the same surface again. So the Waka black soil, whether it does have the same characteristics or not, we'll have a look. Because Martin Guptill, once again, bring him in. Martin, was it a case of the surface actually being slightly naughty, or was it just really, really poor from Multan?
Yeah, there were some questionable dismissals, I think, in the early stage of the innings, but it did look like a pretty decent batting wicket, as Quetta showed later on in the game. But as we look here tonight, a lot less live grass, less green grass today, and those cracks seem to have maybe opened up a wee bit. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays tonight.
I spoke to Tony Hemmings, the chief curator. He said he kept the top heshing on, which is slightly moist, but did not do much to a surface. You talk about Multan Sultan. They've got a couple of wickets here to show for, Yasir Khan and Usman Khan. What can the two teams learn then tonight from that good length that Peshawar hit?
I think they just got to give themselves a chance, don't they? See off a few balls maybe early on, and then if it is playing a lot truer than last night, then you can play your shots from the get-go. But if they give themselves a chance, they actually give themselves a chance to score some big runs.
Now Islamabad United, Jason Holder, Ben Dwarshuis, Riley Meredith, plenty of pace on offer. What do you reckon? Because Khurram Shahzad showed them the way. The power play bowling from them yesterday was immaculate. You reckon those three will have fun?
I think they will. Obviously, Jason Holder, Ben Dwarshuis, tall guys, hit the deck hard, and they'll look to get a lot of as much as they can out of the wicket.
Yeah, you see those groupings. They're not one delivery beyond that 6-meter mark. So everything in that good length or maybe slightly shorter. Well, tonight it promises again to be very spicy.
Well, Jason Holder has been using that spice really well, Hazy. I mean, that first game against Lahore Qalandars where he got those 4 wickets, he just seems to know where to bowl.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he's a terrific performer, and we forget that he's a batsman as well, can play some really handy knocks at the right time, but his bowling is going to be key tonight because of his height. For starters, this is the wickets he got in the very first game. His length, he'll like the length he has to bowl on this surface as well, but because he's 7'15", he'll get extra bounce every single time. He's such a big lad. You stand alongside him and you've got to crank your neck up to actually have a chat to him. He's enormous, but he's going to really enjoy this surface, I think, and he does bowl these days, I think, with a little bit of extra pace behind his deliveries also. He went through a patch a couple of years ago where he was just sort of going through the motions a bit, but I think these days he's a bit fired up. I think this surface will help him a bit today, and that length is going to be perfect for him, and look out for that bounce, because that's the one thing the batsmen are going to be uncertain about on this track.
Well, this surface can definitely help somebody like Shaheen as well. I mean, we spoke about Haris Rauf not having that kind of form, but do you think Shaheen has been able to sort of adjust his lengths in these conditions?
Look, I think he's bowling pretty well. I mean, earlier in his career, he was always trying to bowl the Yorkers, but he does bowl those lengths now, which is required. And I think this Lahore pitch, probably you need to be a little bit shorter. You don't want to go too full, because too full means it's a drivable length. The Lahore Qalandars or Shaheen should learn from Quetta Gladiators, the way they bowl. Khurram Shahzad was superb. He was just bowling, hitting that back of the length. Not 6 meters, you can go 8 meters even, because 8 meters a little bit more effective. It gives a bit more a chance to the seam to react, and there are cracks, as Arooj was talking about. There are few cracks opening up on that fifth stump or fourth stump line if you're bowling from the pavilion end. So I feel that you just got to be back of the length. Don't go full. Full means trouble.
All right. In terms of batting then, I mean, we saw yesterday from Quetta's perspective how you can bat in these conditions. I mean, it's not exactly impossible, but we are seeing that teams are sort of folding out. I mean, what's the key here to be facing such bowling?
Listen, the bowling is going to be top notch, and the conditions are going to be a little bit different because of the surface. But also I think the batsmen just got to settle a little bit early. They can't charge like they were doing yesterday. That was crazy. Soft dismissals right at the top. They weren't set at all. They've got to make sure they get a little bit set before they start advancing. Most of the guys that are playing in the top order for both these teams right now are guys who can play catch up as well. They don't have to charge from ball one. Last night it was such an error a couple of times where the guys just went down the surface and tried to take them on and just really soft skied one or two as well. So they've got to make sure they settle a little bit, get organised, get used to the bounce of the track, and then they can accelerate once they've got a nice base to work from.
All right, get organized. I like that line. Get organized is what we need to see from both these sides. Now it's time to hear from the experts who they think is going to win tonight. Well, there's one side that is completely undefeated, and then there's Lahore. They've been, sort of inconsistent, but they've won 3, lost 3. So who's your pick for today?
For me, I'll go Lahore Qalandars. I know Islamabad United won all 5 of their games, but I have a feeling that Lahore Qalandars got what it takes to really trouble this batting lineup.
All right, your thoughts then?
Well, he's totally wrong. Totally wrong. It's Islamabad. Simple. I mean, they're on a roll. Yeah, they haven't played for a while. Doesn't matter, Waka. They'll play so well tonight. They've got class players.
I'll sort you out later.
I think there's a bit of element of bias here as well.
Maybe,
homie.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
I was with Multan. I always back Multan. I'm from Multan.
How's that
not
going?
working.
All right then. All right. That was the expert predictions for you. Fakhar Zaman, perhaps they could have had another opener with him. And that's been one of the things you touched upon. That's the only area of concern.
Yeah, I think it's a big area of concern because you need an opening partnership on a pitch which is helping the bowlers. And Naeem, youngster, yes, he is a big hitter. I've heard. We haven't seen anything good from him yet, but they're persistent. They want to go out. The problem is once he gets out, it creates an extra pressure on Fakhar. Then he doesn't know which way to go, and if he gets out, the problem starts.
It's interesting that Fakhar's also been scoring more successfully against the spinners rather than the quicks so far in this edition. So that's a turn up for the books, that's for sure.
All right, Salman Ali Agha is back in. He's been a great player for Pakistan overall as well. So I'm sure that's something that is going to really strengthen Islamabad United. Thank you so much for your thoughts, gentlemen. We're obviously moments away from all the live action. The crowd is building up nicely here as well in Lahore. Lahore is playing, so you can expect a great full house in. And it's going to be Qalandars versus Islamabad United. Islamabad United are bowling first. Take a short break. See you guys on the other side. Don't go anywhere.